I asked my son and his now fiance, PV, when they were visiting with us over Christmas, I asked them to come up with a list of 10 questions they would like me to address at some point in these videos over the next year or two. But be careful what you ask for. When they arrived in Boston, they come up with 10 questions. They sent them to me. And one of them was, what has been the most challenging thing for your faith in your lifetime? Well, certainly one of the most challenging things for my faith has been the awareness that I am madly in love with a God who simply refuses to be managed, domesticated, or controlled by me. Can you imagine that? We so badly want God to be a well-defined concept, of formula. Guess what? Go find a different God. That's not the God of the Bible. Let me give you an example. As many of you know, last March, our colleague, Lisa Bernheisel, was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. My gosh. When I told my wife this, I began to sob. And as I began to sob, I began to say to God, listen, God, you're going to do something about this. There is no reason that a 42-year-old woman with 4 kids should die of colon cancer. And you can do something about it. If you could raise Jesus from the dead, you can deal with her. I was ticked. And so were many others, and they began to pray for her. And guess what? 9 months later, she's cancer-free. Go figure. I found myself saying what the psalmist says in Psalm 118, the right hand of the Lord has triumphed. The right hand of the Lord has triumphed. But it doesn't take long before you realize that this is not the way it always works, right? It didn't work for my mom. When I was 24, my mom had a psychic breakdown. The mother I knew died. It was devastating. And I began to pray for her. Now, maybe I wasn't as bold as I am now. Probably too polite in my prayer. But I prayed for her, and others prayed for her. And nothing changed for 30 years until she died. Nothing changed. And I found myself saying another prayer of another psalmist, a psalmist who said, my grief is this, the right hand of the Lord has lost its power. God, where are you? I discovered in that journey that, God is not always going to do what Roger Greene wants God to do, even though it makes all the sense in the world. And what I think I even discovered in this journey was that God was as frustrated as I was. Maybe God simply cannot do certain things, that whatever it means for God to be almighty is not that God just waves the magic wand and everything is better. In fact, I think one of the things that God was saying to me along the way is, Roger, I am suffering as much as you. That was consoling, that was sustaining, but, quite frankly, I'm still mad at God about that. Oh my gosh. Folks, the reality is that if you're in love with the God of the Bible, you're in love with an elusive reality who invites our trust in spite of the downs. When God acts in profound ways, wow, yeah, I trust in God. God's my refuge, my strength. But then one day, you get left in the dark, and still we trust. That's faith. Faith isn't certainty. Faith is placing your bet on the God of creation, the God of Jesus Christ. regardless of what happens.